Welcome to the Chino Valley Update Podcast, brought to you by the Chino Valley Area Chamber of Commerce. And here's our host, President and CEO, Lorette Brashear.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorette Brashear. I am the Director and CEO of the Chino Valley Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here today with a guest, and I'm here with Robin Frye. Hey, Robin, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. And we are at the Ditch Beer and Wine Store, we've have several different things. They've given us a sample of the Mogollon Vineyards red wine blend, and
Very
so we'll
exciting.
be sampling that today. And so lots of things going on. What do you think about this little store?
Amazing.
Amazing.
I've been
right?
hearing about it. It was my first time in. It's so well stocked. It's beautifully decorated because that's important.
That's very important.
But such local representation, which I love. Friendly staff. Yeah, this is awesome.
Absolutely. So, Robin, you're with Cambiare Design, and I
Yes.
always have to make sure I say that correctly.
You did.
Can you tell me a little bit about what is Cambiare and what you do?
Of course. Happy to be here. Thank you. And what a great way to start
let's
today.
just say
Cheers.
Good morning.
Morning.
And let's see how
Just a
this
minute.
one
We're
is.
sipping.
Oh, that's fabulous.
That's really good.
And that is the red wine blend from Mogollon Vineyards.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So I handle all things to do with the inside of your home.
Absolutely. So that's why you were commenting on how well decorated this place is.
Yes. So everything from helping pick paint colors, new furnishings, new finishes like countertops and cabinets, lighting, you name it. Just about everything.
Tell me a little bit about what Cambiare means.
So
I know that has a meaning back
it
there.
does. So excuse me.
And how you came up with the name.
So I was starting the business about 25 years ago and brainstorming with some friends, and I'm half Italian, so they wanted to kind of incorporate that, and it means to change in Italian.
To change.
So I help you change the things that you don't like.
I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
It's perfect. So one of the things that you do is you're an interior decorator.
Yes.
And so that you can come into people's homes and help kind of change and give us some guidance and some expertise. You've personally been helping me with the chamber and my home. And I know my home, when we walked in, it was a disaster. I'm one of those that just puts things wherever, eyeballs it, says, yep, that looks good there, that looks good there. But I promise you, when you walked into my home, you had one picture you made me move, and you're like, let me just see if I'm on the right track. You had that one picture moved, and that one picture made a humongous difference in my house. And I couldn't even believe it. I was like, hired. Done. Let's call it good, because that one picture made just by you changing it. And that's one of the things that you do is you can go into somebody's home and kind of recycle what they already have.
Absolutely. That's probably my favorite thing to do. And it truly is the most affordable and attainable for most of us. Let's just face it. We don't have a $500,000 design budget like people on TV, and it happens in 24 hours. That doesn't happen. But you specifically had some fabulous art and great collections of things, which I love to work with because there's no cookie cutter decorating. Like, oh, here's a picture. I want this. It has to be your vibe, what you enjoy. It's kind of like what you like to wear. But you had beautiful art, and it just was getting lost a little bit. So we needed to showcase it, group it together, and like we said, shop your house, because we really don't need that much to purchase, just a few things, because we can really make it fabulous with what you have. And I love people's collections. It's my favorite
So that's the thing. You're saying shop your house, and a fresh set of eyes always works.
Always. It's hard to do it yourself. I can't even do it in my own house by myself because you get very fixed on what you see every day.
Right.
And it's funny because you were talking about the art. What people do is, because everyone hates to make nail holes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because anyway. My poor husband is filling nail holes all the time. But I think people hang things where something was before.
Right.
Regardless of what size it is or whether it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of those.
Stick it
you
up
know
there
what?
'cause
There's already a nail in place. I am that person. I'm like, oh, that looks good right there. And it might be way too high. I don't know. But there was a nail already there. So, of course, I'll hang it there.
And, I think people are afraid when I come in, I'm going to make them change a lot. But all I'm doing is just fluffing what they have.
Right.
Like your beautiful vintage cookie jar collection. we just had to edit it down a little bit. I didn't want to take it away. It's so unique. It's so interesting.
Different.
Just edit it a little bit.
But once we did that and kind of like decluttered it a little bit, it looks so much nicer.
Yeah,
and so it really did. Yeah, you're right. You can see the actual pieces and it looks so great. And so with design, is there bad choices? I mean, what are the top like worst design things you could ever do to your home?
So I have... We'll try not to offend anyone. So I have compiled this particular list. The number one thing, we just kind of touched on it, is hanging your art too high.
Okay.
Or not grouping it appropriately.
Gotcha.
That's a big one. Putting all of your furniture flat up against the wall and not floating something like the whole perimeter of your room is.
I'm so guilty of doing that because that's me. It's like I heard that if you just kind of push all your furniture against the wall, it makes the space look wider and bigger. But yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, there's no real depth there.
Yeah,
if you do that. Also, bad paint color choices.
Yep,
this
guilty.
Is probably number one.
Guilty.
Just because it's your favorite color doesn't mean it should be on your wall, Lorette.
Yes, exactly.
No. But it's just a common
green
mistake.
Is so my favorite color. And I just thought, heck, green would make me feel good about walking in and seeing it. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's definitely not good in the house.
And it's hard because paint is one of the hardest choices you're going to make because it looks different depending on the light in your home, your flooring, your furniture.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it just makes a huge
when
difference.
You go and look at paint samples, they look so pretty. And then you take them home and you're like, oh, well, that's not really what I wanted.
And Wes, my husband, has to stop me from accosting people at Lowe's and Home Depot because they're standing there with 10 little swatches in their hand and they're making a decision. They're not going to buy a little sample and take it home, or they're looking at it under the bright lights, or they're looking down at it when they should be looking up at it. And I want to say something, and so take the time and a little bit of extra money to sample your paints. Bring home 3 or 4 at the most. And paint them on board so you can move them around the room with the light and with the different walls you're going to have it on. Because if you paint it on an existing wall color, that wall color is going to influence the color of that sample. So I see that as a huge mistake. Wrong size area rugs. This is the right size rug.
Oh, in front of us, definitely.
Yes, that's right. But I want to put a little rug under my coffee table, and they get the little tiny rug, and you can only see about an inch of it.
Yep.
So that's a big issue. Clutter.
Okay.
Part of true good design is being organized and making a home for things that you don't want to have showcased. I mean, if you want your 2019 taxes out on the table, that's up to you, but maybe we should file those and
put them away so they're not cluttered. Yep.
And
definitely.
Then the last thing I see is everything matchy. Matchy pillows and, the set of furniture that all matches. And I think it's easy to kind of just break that up and it looks a little bit more curated and interesting.
Oh,
Even if it's your grandmother's chair, I bet it's really cool and I bet it would work in a space. So.
Gotcha. So matchy.
No matchy.
Yeah, no matchy. So those are the top don't do's.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the trends that are happening for 2022? Because when we saw a couple of years ago, the trends for just different things. I mean, we're Farmhouse. There's shabby chic, those kind of trends. And so many different trends come into the design world. And oftentimes we look in these magazines and say, hey, you know what? Oh, I want to do that. And then it just doesn't work well in our house.
Correct.
Or, so what are some of the trends that are popping up that we're starting to see now for 2022?
So it's interesting you mentioned shabby chic because that begot Farmhouse. Right. If you look at the style, it's just a more refined farmhouse. We got rid of some of the ruffles and some of the real rustic furniture. And now what we're seeing is Farmhouse is still in, but it's even more refined.
Gotcha.
And it's introducing things like mixed metals, real wood.
Okay.
And real antiques, not buying something that looks like an antique. Like buy one really cool antique piece. And I know here in our area, there's a million places to go. Resale stores and estate sales where you can buy something that you love. So it's more authentic. Right. Instead of everyone having shiplap and eggs for sale signs. And while that's still fun, and I have a little egg for sale sign, so I'm talking about myself, but just kind of refining it a little bit and bringing in more rustic elements, a lot of greenery, a lot of wood tones. We're getting away from the whitewash. Okay. And that's true in the kitchen where we all, including me, not this house, but my other home, did all white cabinets because it was bright and white. And now we're seeing real wood coming back in.
Real wood. Thank goodness I didn't touch mine.
Yeah. Walnut, mahogany, really nice woods are coming back, and it's just warming up the home a little bit.
Gotcha.
But having said that, I would never recommend, if you have beautiful white cabinets, to replace them. We don't need to do that. We can make some other little changes, maybe the hardware, something like that. So it's definitely not an assault on what people have. It's just editing a little bit and adding some touches.
Gotcha. And wallpaper.
Wallpaper's back.
Wallpaper.
I know. I just got so excited there.
Oh my goodness. Yes, wallpaper. You did. She did. She got really excited about wallpaper. I'm still confused.
Okay, so not our grandma's wallpaper, but there's a company called Philip Jeffries that I just love, and they do textural, like grass cloth or things that look like leather. Really interesting. Dramatic wallpaper, and I would use that in a powder room.
Oh, fun.
I wouldn't do, obviously your whole house, but you can, we don't do as many accent walls as we used to, but perhaps putting it behind a bookcase.
Got it.
So you're looking back
just doing
and seeing
some little bits of wallpaper. That's really fun. Exciting. I definitely love, I love to mix and match things, and you're the perfect person for it. You have an eye for it. Some people are just born with it, and that's you. I am not at all. It's just like I said. I just put whatever I want wherever, and then it looks horrible, and I have to call somebody like you to come fix it because I'm like, this is a little bit overwhelming. So we've got that, and then I know we talked a little bit about paint colors. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to choose a paint color. It really is. Is there any basic paint colors that you would recommend? We're getting close to spring. We're getting close to, people are wanting to do something to their homes, but paint colors are intimidating. Very. They really are, because you choose one gray. Well, it may not match with the other grays in your house, or is it too gray? And by the way, is gray still in?
I hate saying this, but not really.
Gotcha.
But
so that's kind of a trend that's going out the door.
A little bit, yeah, okay, especially in flooring, and you can still use gray on the walls, but it has to be purposeful. You can't just paint gray because gray's in. Right. Does it work in your home? So my go-to colors. So Sherwin-Williams, creamy.
Creamy. Okay.
And this is free. I'm not charging for this free paint advice, by the way. It is just a beautiful white, and there's about 150 whites.
I wouldn't even know where to start with a white.
Creamy just has that yellowy base that can go warm, but it can also go against cool colors.
And should we be painting our ceilings?
Absolutely paint your ceilings, whatever you paint your walls, as long as it's a neutral.
Okay.
Absolutely paint
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought you just paint your ceilings white or just leave them how it is and then just do around. See, I am a design disaster.
You are not. And it's not always, you don't always paint the ceilings, but most of the time I would bring the color up to the ceiling.
Okay.
And then we have Ben Moore, one of my favorite paint companies. They have accessible beige.
Accessible beige.
And agreeable gray. So both of these have green in them and beige and gray, but they're just a beautiful, warm neutral. And whatever your furnishings or your floor are going to bring out the whatever undertones it has. And then I did write down, excuse me while I put on my glasses, they're just for show. I don't really need them. The 2022 color of the year, and I always feel like I need a drum roll.
I'm horrible at drum rolls.
I know.
But yeah.
Sherwin-Williams Evergreen Fog. It's gorgeous. It's a deep green gray, and I would do it in a very romantic bedroom, perhaps. So it's quite lovely. I'm looking for an opportunity to use it. So it may end up somewhere in your house.
Fantastic. I'm excited about that. Robin, so what are some of the things that you can help people do, and how are they able to get a hold of you?
Okay. So I can do anything as simple as shopping your home with you. And I do everything on a flat fee basis. I don't do any kind of hourly charge. So I meet with you 60 minutes for free, complimentary.
Wow.
And then we decide whether or not we want to work together, and I can give you an idea of cost. It really comes down to how much time it takes.
Right.
Are we fluffing the whole house? Are we pulling stuff out of the garage? I mean, what are we doing? Am I hanging art, picking paint? I can do any of that or all of that, but I can just do small things. And the favorite thing people that I've been doing is giving them a lookbook. And that's simply a 3-ring binder of ideas for your home and where you can purchase things. And then you buy them at your leisure. So you just purchase the lookbook, and of course, then I'm available for questions after. You can reach me through the Chino Valley website. That's the best way.
ChinoValley.org, which is the Chino Valley website, and it's Cambiare Design.
Yes.
And Robin Frye. And so what did you think about this wine?
Well, I'm taking that home. So is that okay?
Yeah. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm taking this home. Yeah, it's really a fantastic wine. Yeah. Fantastic little store.
Oh, it's fabulous.
I recommend anyone that has not been here to definitely come here. And thank you so much to The Ditch, Beer and Wine Store, for letting us host this podcast here. It's been a great time. It's wonderful. Such a huge assortment of things. And it's a fun little, adult candy store.
It is. And it makes you kind of want to come and hang out.
Well, you know what I love about it is all these cans are so vibrant and colorful, and it really just kind of gets your, oh, what's that? Or what's this? And it's stuff I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
You go to any other places and they don't necessarily have this. And so that's what makes it really a unique store. Robin Frye, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it.
Cheers. Again.
Cheers.